from California. Mr. Levin is recognized for general remarks on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I thank the ranking member and I thank all the staff who worked so hard on this bill. I appreciate the time and effort that's gone into this. Regretfully, I can't support the bill as written. I want to begin by saying something I think we all agree on, that our job here, in large part, is to make life more affordable and more secure for the people we represent. Certainly what guides every budget decision that I make, and that's where I do have serious concerns about this bill. I think we would all agree families are already feeling squeezed between rising energy bills, water bills, and housing costs. They need relief, not more pressure. But this bill would shift more of the burden onto working Americans rather than helping to ease it. As has been said, it cuts over $660 million from clean water and drinking water programs, funds that cities and towns rely on to replace lead pipes, to modernize old systems, and to protect water supplies. Here's what's important. When that funding disappears, local governments don't just absorb that cost. They raise rates. They raise rates, and that hits families and small businesses and rural communities especially hard. The bill also blocks common sense fuel efficiency standards. And whatever you drive, I think everybody wants more miles per gallon. Rolling back efficiency certainly doesn't lower gas prices. It makes people fill up more often and spend more at the pump. And of course, it cuts the Environmental Protection Agency by over 20%. That shrinks our ability to respond to real problems: PFAS, contamination, hazardous waste sites, air and water pollution. These aren't abstract issues. They're showing up in our districts and they impact real people. Now, let's not forget why the EPA was created. And I quote, "Restoring nature to its natural state is a cause beyond party and beyond factions. It has become a common cause of all the people of this country: clean air, clean water, open spaces. These should once again be the birthright of every American." President Richard Nixon, January 22nd, 1970, in his State of the Union. I'd like to think that we would all respect the words of President Nixon as the EPA was being created. Now, let me speak directly about energy. So I understand and respect the important role that oil and gas play in our economy, including in my home state of California. These are industries that employ hundreds of thousands of people and help fuel our nation. But this bill goes beyond support for fossil fuels. It actively makes it harder to build the clean energy projects that are now the cheapest forms of new electricity in the United States. Wind and solar, as I've said before, are cost competitive. They're increasingly reliable, and they're creating jobs in every corner of the country. So why underfund the very offices that help permit those projects? Why limit consumer choice and slow the expansion of the most affordable power sources on the market? This doesn't have to be an either-or conversation. We can support our existing industries while also investing in the technologies that will keep energy affordable, secure, and competitive in the years and decades ahead. And if we don't, China and other countries will continue to dramatically outpace us in clean energy manufacturing and deployment, undermining our economic leadership and energy independence in the long run. I'm also concerned about what this bill means for our public lands. The National Park Service is already stretched thin with staff shortages and billions in deferred maintenance. Cutting their funding even further means campgrounds closed, restrooms shut down, and fewer rangers on the ground. That affects families, veterans, outdoor businesses, and the local economy that relies on tourism and recreation in so many parts of the country. At the end of the day, I just don't believe this bill reflects the values that we share: affordability, fairness, competition, and responsible stewardship. We can and should work together to reduce costs for families, to modernize our infrastructure, and to ensure we have a balanced energy strategy that keeps us strong and globally competitive in the decades ahead. So I hope we can make the improvements necessary to get there, and I hope we can do it together. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'll yield back.